Good morning and welcome to this week's vlog. After almost a week of constant rain, it's finally stopped. I managed to get down to the plot. So the plan for today is to try and get the last two raised beds marked out and, if possible, get the paths in. But I think that might be a bit of a tall order. But I've got all the materials down with me, so let's make a start. So the first thing I'm going to do is clear out this whole area here where the turnips were. The child's going to have to go. Just going to weed it, and then I'm going to get the lines in for the beds, build the beds up, and then go from there. So after a lot of messing around and swearing and banging things with hammers, I've managed to get the start of this bed in. I've had to drop it a little bit lower on this side because the ground falls away. So it's square to itself, but it's not square to the bed that's opposite it, but that's not really important. As long as they're in line, I can get the slabs in. So I'm going to get the other two corners pinned in place now. And I'm going to drop a slab in the middle and work on the left-hand bed. Little midway progress report. Those two beds are in now. They're as level as they can be. It just goes to show how unstraight these plots are. The paths wind all over the place, but these are perfectly in line with the shed and the greenhouse. So what I'm going to do now is see if I can get the slabs laid on that side. Also on this side, the slabs are nowhere near square. You've got a tiny gap there, and it goes off to a big gap there. So when I put these slabs down, I'm going to straighten these ones up and push them flush against them. And then that gives me sort of a little working area. I'm going to sort out my water barrels and tidy that up. But at the moment, number one job is getting this path in here. I've managed to get the path in, and I was 200 mil or 20 centimeters short on the length, but I had the block paving bricks that were brought up to the plot by one of the lady's grandson. And so what I've done is I've used the 600 slab, the 900, then I've just put two rows of those in. It just brings it nicely to the end, and eventually the grass will grow and fill that area in. So I'll repeat the pattern over here, and then that should make up for this big gap here. I can just cut that in off square with the angle grinder, but it's raining on and off and it's getting very muddy and slippy, and I'm not moving these slabs in wet slippy conditions. So I'm going to call it a day for today, tidy up and put everything away, and then come back tomorrow. It's Sunday morning. It's blooming freezing. It's about 6 degrees at the moment, but I've only got today. I want to try and get the paths finished, so I've got about 4 hours today, so I'm going to crack on with that and see if I can get it all done today. Hopefully I can. We'll soon see. Not even got started and we've come across the first problem. The gap at the bottom here is slightly too small to get the slab in, but as you can see, these two are parallel, and the gap at the top is out by a good 4 inches. So I need to take these slabs up. Unfortunately, this water barrel is resting on the corner of this slab, so I'm going to have to see if I'm either going to have to empty that or see if I can manage to just move it out of the way a little bit, and then take those slabs up and put them out of the way. go. Borrowing a little bit of tidying up. That's this plot done. So I've got all the raised beds in, all the way down this side. I've got two slightly smaller ones here, and it's fully paved out. I got lucky with that last piece there. It was probably about 5 or 10 mil too big, so I just managed to wedge it in, which means the end sticks over a little bit, but once the grass has grown, you won't notice that, and it's going to be a good area to work in. Now that the pathways are finished on the other plot, one of my plot neighbours has kindly donated me his old pond that he dug out. He doesn't want it anymore. He's got another one on his plot, so I'm going to put that in on the second plot in the area that doesn't really grow anything. I'm going to make it into a sort of a wildlife area, hopefully encourage frogs and newts and all sorts of things like that. So I'm just going to do a little bit of research on what I need for that. But yeah, that's going to be the next project coming up over the next couple of weeks. It shouldn't be too much of a job, and obviously, as you can see, it holds water really well, so we'll get that in. So the last thing I do before I go home is I'm going to harvest one of my parsnips that I've grown in the raised planter. The carrots that came out of there earlier this year did really well, so hopefully the parsnips will have a similar result. I'm not holding out much hope because they look a little bit dead, but we'll see how we go. Oh, so let's dig in. That's a good start. There's something in there. There we go. It's not the longest parsnip in the world. It's nice and straight, so I'm going to pull another one out because that's not really going to make much of a meal. Yeah, that one. It's forked off a little bit and it's started to rot. Again, not huge, but a nicely formed parsnip. What I might as well do is just empty this half of the planter and see what I get out. They're not the biggest parsnips in the world, but they're nice and straight, and they're going to taste lovely on my dinner today. So I'm going to head off home now. I'd like to say thank you very much for everyone for watching and commenting, and I hope to see you all again next week. Thank you very much, and goodbye.